Well, here we are, August 31st. It's Wednesday morning. It is right now about 6:15. I am on the road and I'm heading over west to go pick up Troy, and we are headed to South Dakota. We're going to do some whitetail and hopefully get into some mule deer, velvet hunt, and just outside of Chamberlain along the Missouri River. So we're stoked, we're loaded up. We got Troy's whitetail from last year here riding in the back seat, and we're going to drop that off at his house. Ryan Kierstead at Dreamcatcher Taxidermy just finished that up this week. So we're stoked, we're ready, and can't believe it's hunting season already, but we've had a pretty good year. So Troy took a new job here first part of August. I left Excel Energy mid-July and started with Northwestern Mutual as a financial advisor, building a wealth management practice for myself. So we don't have a ton of time off. We got 4 days to hunt, coming home on Labor Day, but we're looking forward to a good hunt. We got some property here that Troy's got a connection with. I think we got about 1,100 acres of private for sure that we can hunt on, and we're looking forward to it. So quick little hunt, but opportunity to get out west, get our feet wet, hopefully get after some velvet deer, and let's go. Looking forward to the hunting season. Bring on 2022.
What do you know there? At the R&R Cattle Company Ranch.
We made it out here to South Dakota. We're setting the first trail camera. Troy's out there. We're sitting right here on a road crossing where there's a couple of shelter belts, and then they move out. They've got silage here, and then there's a bean field a little farther out. You can see the green, but currently I'm going to pause and show this. It's 103 degrees and it's August 31st. We're just getting set up. Season opens tomorrow. It's supposed to be almost as hot again tomorrow, but tonight is scouting. We're going to get what we can set up for some scouting, see if we can't start figuring this out. We thought we had about 1,100 acres, but after taking a ride with the ranch owner Steve, we determined we've got a little bit more than that, as they've got some leased property that we have full access to. So we're pretty excited about it and ready to get to scouting here tonight. It's about 4:30 and it gets dark closer to 9, so we got a little bit of time for the deer start moving here, and with it 103 degree temp, we're pretty convinced it's going to be late. So we're going to get some cameras set, and then we're going to find a couple of good glassing spots, probably split up and just watch what the evening brings. So here we go. All right, so we got in our hotel room. Pretty nice room, little kitchenette. We're had dinner, got to see a bunch of the property. We're unpacking the truck and we're gonna head scouting here. So go see what's moving tonight. It's about 7 o'clock and we're heading out there. So
First night glassing. Only saw 3 deer. Which is a little discouraging, but they are very hard to see. Beans are tall, and there's more topography than it looks. Town of Chamberlain. Beautiful sunset. Beautiful moon.
Oh, here we are. Day 1. Opening morning. It is probably about 8 a.m. The sun's just coming up here. And I went and sat kind of back behind their house this morning in a windrow. I guess they call them a shelter belt. And Troy was driving around in the truck just binos I was watching some cut corn going into another shelter belt, and I didn't see anything this morning, but Troy was driving around and saw a few deer, and he was way across glassing some beans, and he saw what he said looked to be a pretty good buck, fumbling with the spotting scope. Binos kind of back and forth, and by the time he got his binos back up, he lost them. Doesn't look like a ton of terrain for it to go hide in, so he thinks it bedded down right along a fence row. So he's actually out there right now making a stalk, or at least trying to get in close enough to see if he can get eyes on where this buck's bedded and how he's bedded up. But they're here, but as you can see, it's just big, wide open country, and trying to find one is the hard part. Once you get them located, then it's putting together a game plan. So we're excited about it. Day one, we got 4 days to hunt. September 1st. It's supposed to be about 100 degrees today. It was about 55 this morning when we pulled in. So big swing in temperature. But then tomorrow, temp's supposed to drop down around 80 for a high. So we'll see how some of this weather plays out to our advantage or disadvantage. But nonetheless, love it. It's opening day. It's hunting season. Let's go.
Came out tonight. It was about 97 degrees today. Super hot. I hiked in about a half a mile to, well, still another half mile to the south line that he has, but to the south side of the property, because there's good tree line and a creek and water, which I don't think there's any water in the creek or the pond. I can't see it from here, but Steve doesn't think there's any water in anything. But I walked down, and kind of right after I got in, about 7:40, I saw a Bachelor group of 3 bucks stand up. One of them looks really nice. The other 2 look like something I would still shoot. So I think we'll have a play in the morning. They headed south to a big bean field on the neighbor's property to the south. They're feeding out there right now, but they were bedded on Steve's. Kind of there's a corner fence crossing and some trees and some good stuff that if we can see them go to bed, we might be able to stalk them in the morning. So some hope, but otherwise it's hot and just a lot of looking at that. And they can hide in those beans, and you'll never see them. I'm back in here this morning, where I saw those 3 bucks last night. I think get up out of their bed and then head out to the beans. So I watched them from a distance last night, but this morning I moved into where I think they're bedded and hoping they're coming back. Got in here about 6:30, just starting to be able to see out in the bean field. See, I got real good cover behind me with these pines along the fence row. And then that tree is where I saw him last night. There's a fence crossing and there's beans behind the tree that I saw him feed out into last night, so I'm hoping they come back.
Turkeys here this morning. It's about all I've seen. It's day 2. We're still here in South Dakota, and yesterday was an interesting day. Slow. It's hot, almost 100 degrees out. So it's now September 2nd here. It's 63 this morning. Troy saw a bachelor group late last night. get up out of some beans on the south end of the property. So he slid in there this morning to kind of see what they were up to and see if he could get eyes back on them. He just texted me he located one bedded in the beans. I don't know if they're stockable or what the story is, but he's going to work on that. We did, he also saw a pretty good 10-pointer yesterday morning that he watched bed down. Didn't do a great job kind of locating it in terms of topography and where it was at. He spotted it from a long ways off. He did try to move in on it, sat there about 2 hours, backed out, and then we ended up seeing the buck north of the property go into another set of beans and disappeared on us in the beans. Literally, we saw him 1 second, he was gone the next, and he was only about 200 yards from us, but pretty nice 10-pointer. So we think that one may be off the property. I've been kind of keeping an eye out for him this morning, seeing if he's coming back on. And other than that, I'm just staying mobile, trying to keep eyes. It's slow. It's been really hot. The deer aren't moving a lot. There's very little water for them. Tons of standing corn and beans. So been kind of tough locating them, but we have had some luck. So here we go. We're going to keep at it.
Well, it's about 11 o'clock. Been sitting here since 6:30. Got here. Located those bucks. Watched them bed down on the beans, and have been basically sitting here waiting to see them stand up. See what they're gonna do. They haven't stood up yet. I can't sit on that little chair anymore. My back's killing me, so I'm laying down and kind of standing up every couple of minutes to look and see. But I'm gonna try to make it till noon. Again, hopefully locate them, or I know where they are, but hopefully see them stand, and if they're gonna move beds or what they're gonna do. Try to figure out how to get after them this afternoon. It's hot out, better than yesterday, but warm. One of the bucks just stood up about 20 after 11. Kind of working this way. I have a terrible wind for this position. Just gonna watch him and see what he does. Hope the other two get up and figure out how to make a play for tonight. Well, it's going to be the end of day 2 here. Still in South Dakota. I have not had a lot of luck. It's a little cooler today. Probably low 90s compared to the 100 plus we've been seeing. But I've seen a couple of deer. They're pretty hard to come by right now. Troy, on the other hand, has been having some better luck. He did find a bachelor group last night of 3 and ended up watching them kind of wander off last night, but then this morning he slid back in there hoping to be able to make a play on them, and he watched them come in and bed up about 300 yards from him, and he actually watched them till about noon. He was hoping they were going to get up and go to water, but they never did, and he needed water and some food, so he ended up coming out. He was back in there tonight again, hoping he can spot them and kind of see what they're doing. But they are on the south edge of the property this morning where they were bedded. They were actually on the neighbor farm that we don't have permission to hunt, so that was why he kind of hung tight and just watched them this morning and didn't try to figure out a way to make a play on them, as they're not on our property, but they have been. So I don't know. Here's my view for the evening. I got some corn behind me, and I'm sitting watching big shelter belt here. There's water in the far corner. It's about 400 or 500 yards away. But yeah, so this is my view tonight. I'm trying to see if anything's coming in or out of this shelter belt. But otherwise, here we go. So, day 2. just had these bucks at 120 yards in front of me. They were sparring. No care in the world. I thought they were going to bed down here in this bottom, and they kept moving through. Damn it. If they just would have bedded down. I was in perfect position with perfect wind. Don't know why they kept moving through. Those are 3 big bucks. There's 2 more bucks and another doe, I think, somewhere. Here's something blowing. Well, back out in the field. This morning I got really close. Out of dumb luck, I ended out 120 yards from 5 nice bucks and 2 does. Or 4 nice bucks and 1 little buck and then 2 does. Thought it was going to be perfect. Thought they were going to come in and bed down in this bottom I was in, and they just kept moving through, and then eventually they spooked and came back to about 100 yards and then ran across a huge field, and Kyle saw him go over here to the east of us, because I called him when they started running across the big field, so he saw him go to the east of us, and then I saw him kind of go down in a gully and never come back out. Who knows? I mean, these deer can disappear out here, but so tonight we're both set up. I'm set up on the far southeast corner, and he's just north of me a half a mile, where we both have kind of eyes on where we saw him go, and they've been out in this bean field behind me, to the west of me, to southwest of me, the last 2 nights. Last 2 nights, and last 2 mornings, so we're just hoping they come back this way, and we'll be here to cut them off. I'm just came out really early tonight, so I'm laying down, reading a book, enjoying myself. It's pretty much our last night in South Dakota. It's day 3. It's been some hard hunts for me. Troy's been having some fun. This morning he had 5 bucks, 4 of them shooters. He kind of stumbled into this morning walking in. Walked into like within 100, 120 yards of them, and then they kind of fed off. And then I came back and they were about 150, 200 yards.
we thought we saw where they went. So we both set up here tonight, hoping they'd come back. We've been out here since about 4:30, and it's about 8 o'clock now. See the sun starting to get pretty low. We got probably 40 minutes left of shooting light. But it's been hot, and it's been long, so we're going to give it one more try. Mornings seem to be really, really good down on the south end of the property here. He's got a kind of a little bit of a, Troy calls it the buck nest. So we're going to try and make a pretty aggressive play on that in the morning. And then we're going to pack up and head for home. It's about, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours for me to get home. About 7, I suppose, to get home from here. So we're going to hunt, see if we can't get lucky in the morning, and then head home. We'll be home on Sunday and sleep in my own bed tomorrow night, and then I get Labor Day with my family. So kind of looking forward to it, but it's been a great trip. We've learned a lot about the area, and well, we're excited. We'll probably be back. So it's been good. Thank you.
Just stood up and there's a big wide buck out in the field. It looks like he's got an doe. Kind of watching the other direction, hoping 5 bucks from this morning come, but he just popped up to the south of me in the bean field.
Morning, it's Sunday morning here. We're down on the south property line, and it's a beautiful morning. It's about 51 degrees. Trey set up a couple 100 yards away here. We're down in this bottom, and I just had a doe at 20. And of course, the smallest buck we've seen all week had like 50, 60. Haven't seen their big friends yet, but we're gonna hang out here for a little while and hope they move through as well. But we saw the Big 10 last night. He was up in the beans to the south of us here. So they gotta be around. They gotta be fairly close. So we're just gonna kind of stay quiet here and hope for the best. But last morning we'll head back to the hotel and pack up after we're done with the hunt, hopefully with a nice buck in the back of the truck. So it's been a great trip. It's interesting country out here, that's for sure. You can see how just instantly flat it is out behind me. So it's been fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just shot one. Day 3, South Dakota. September 4th. About 7:50 I shot him. I've been seeing a bachelor group down here every night, every morning. So Kyle and I came down to kind of double team it this morning. Got up to take a shit. Lucky I did, because that's how I saw him coming across the field. So we both moved. Kyle kind of came over here to this north-south fence line in case they kept going north. And I took this east-west fence line and got to 60 yards of it when the first one passed. A nice, probably 105, 110 inch 8-pointer. And then a big tall fork, like this tall fork, passed at 60, and I knew the third one was the bigger 8. So I crawled about another 10 yards closer and came to 50 yards. He kind of saw me, so he was on alert, but he calmed back down and started walking, and then he saw me draw, so he was on alert. And I rushed the shot a little bit. I'm mad at myself, but he ducked and kind of spun, and I shot him in the back of the neck. And he ran this way, and he stopped in this. Kyle saw him running, heard my shot and saw him running. He stopped in this little cedar patch. We never saw him come out. And Kyle said he ran into it. He didn't stop, and then he was kind of running into it, and Kyle said he didn't look good. So right now I'm just praying I got arteries and esophagus and all the stuff that's in there. And he's laying dead up there, but otherwise I pray it's just a non-lethal shot. So one of those scenarios would be good, but that's what we got going this morning. So I'm highs and lows of hunting today for sure. But yeah, got my brother by my side. Couldn't have it any better. Definitely tough hunting out here.
So we're gonna grab our bows and go walk in there right now and go see if we can. Hopefully we just find him laying dead, but we're gonna be prepared for a follow-up shot if needed. So
sneak up.
Here we go.
Let's go get him.
Yeah. So here we are. We got back over here and into the cedar, and you can see hopefully how deep this ditch is. It's about 10 feet down, 6 to 10 feet down, and so I saw him running from that direction this way into this, and yeah, there's a reason I never saw him come out, because this drainage ditch runs a long ways down. So we're gonna rally back and head over to the point of shot and go look for any kind of arrow blood, anything we can find over there. But man, I was hoping he was just done right here. You can't see any of this from where I was at. So all right, here we go. Adventure continues.
Well, now look, we went, like we said, Kyle thought he saw him go into those cedars, but what we didn't know is there's about a 10-foot ravine on the backside that he can sneak and probably go 3 miles down. So pretty sure he went down there. We went back to the spot of the shot. We had really good video footage and knew exactly where I was and exactly where he was, so we knew where he would be and could get really, precise on where we thought he would be. And with it kind of being a back of the neck hit, really your hope is you got arteries in there, and he bled to death. And we, like I said, being able to be precise about where he is, we found no blood. We know he came out into this short grass before he angled back down, and we walked to that, and there's not a speck of blood out there. So at this point I'm 99% convinced he's gonna live. I've seen deer get shot in the back of the neck like that, and Dad's antelope last year he shot in the back of the neck like that, and the thing was perfectly fine. So pretty sure he's gonna live, but pretty shitty. But that's the way it goes, I think. I was saying to Kyle, mostly I'm mad at myself because there were a few things I did wrong. Definitely rushed the shot. In my head, I was telling Kyle that he kind of flinched and looked up at me, and then I shot. And in the video, he did not do that. So that was all in my head and made me rush the shot. And then after the shot, I only watched him a little ways before I fell to my knees in despair. And so I didn't watch him and pick all the spots like I should have. So just stupid. Kind of mad at myself for a couple of mistakes. But on the flip side, did 98% of the stuff right and got into shooting distance in this country where there's not a lot of deer. So a lot to be happy about, but a couple of things I wish I could have back.
And that's why it's hunting and not killing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I saw him running this way, crossed these two trees, and then went behind that one. And as you can see from this perspective, it looks like I should have seen him come out, and I never saw him come out. But what you can't see, and I showed you in the earlier video, is that 10-foot ravine Troy's talking about, and that runs all the way up towards that house and that shelter belt up there. So there's a really good chance with absolutely zero blood that he just took that and got out of here. He knows how to get out of this place and move through these areas really well, and he did just that. And so now it's time to go pick up some trail cameras, head back to the Bel Air, our exotic hotel,
We gotta get some footage of that.
and pack up and head back east. So it's Sunday and we're going to go home and sleep in our own beds tonight and spend Labor Day with our families tomorrow. But this is some crazy country, and with the hot, dry temperatures we've been facing, there's no water, so it's really hard to hunt. There is the river about 3 miles to the west, the Missouri River, and a lot of river bottoms. And then about 2.5 miles off to the northeast there is a big lake, and there's all the same crop cover, everything between here and there. So there's a really good chance they've just kind of moved off this property. Aside from these bucks we've been watching the last couple days, they just are out of here and went to water and went somewhere else. But it was fun. We learned a lot. Definitely a challenge.
Thank you so much to the Rhymers. This was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
We did have a great time. Thank you. We appreciate anytime anybody lets us do this kind of stuff. Yeah. Here it is. Loading it up.
Here's our home.
End of the trip, but this was our home for a few days anyway. It's kind of nice. Double bathroom. It's got the whole kitchenette.
Wasn't too bad once we figured out the AC.
Yeah, the first couple nights we slept in a sauna. But we got the game of Tetris going on out here with the truck. Getting everything loaded in. Packed up. The e-bike on a hitch. Worked out pretty good. So, and this is the outside of the wonderful Bel Air Motel. So, a pretty decent place to stay. Here at downtown Chamberlain.